Hey guys, it's Stephen here back with another video. 2 videos back to back in 2 days. Yes, it's an absolute rarity. I promised to do it and I've actually gone and done it. Fingers crossed I actually manage it as well. But anyway, hope you're all feeling good. Sorry for the different location. I can't sit where I usually do over there because behind that painting on the wall, Nicola's doing a podcast for work, so I've got to go over here, the other side of the flat, I've sat on the floor basically. It's kind of nice, isn't it? It's kind of cool. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about loads of Manchester City news. I thought I'd basically pull a bunch of stories that are going around today and talk about them and discuss them and just kind of chew the fat as ever. Hope you like this kind of format and this strand because news is a bit all over the place. A lot of it I don't always believe, some of it I do, but it's just kind of fun to talk about football. And we're going to start with the news about David Silva. David Silva news, which is lovely to hear. But apparently, Premier League clubs have unanimously agreed to be allowed to enter into short-term contracts with contract extensions with players whose deals are due to expire at the 30th of June this year, which basically means David Silva could be around. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. And according to other reports, he's willing to extend his Man City contract until the end of the campaign, whenever that may be. But this is really good news for many reasons because it's David Silva. 2, it's David Silva. 3, it means he's not going anywhere. 4, it's David. I could go on forever. Basically, it means David Silva isn't going to leave us prematurely. He is going to finish the season with us, according to these reports anyway, if you believe them. Now, I think genuinely this makes sense. The Premier League clubs wouldn't want to lose players during a campaign, which is weird to say that given everything at the moment, but no one would want that uncertainty, and all the clubs will agree on this basically. They're all in the same boat. None of us want this kind of shit sandwich that is players just randomly leaving. However, this is very much still in the players' decisions, you know. They don't have to agree to this because a contract is a contract. There was some rumours, I think it might have been Pedro actually at Chelsea, who said he might actually leave when his contract runs down. It might not be Pedro, someone correct me if I'm wrong there, but I feel like it is Pedro. But either way, there are some players that probably will just leave when their contract expires anyway, even if the season hasn't been completed, because they're well within their rights to do so. Now, maybe not, I don't know, but I'm pretty certain they are allowed to do that because it's a time-based contract, not a games-based contract, if that makes sense. But all signs seems to point towards David Silva being willing to stay at Manchester City and fulfill his legacy. Hopefully he'll be lifting more silver at some point during this, whenever that's going to be. But it's nice to know that we won't get this kind of muted farewell to El Majo, the magician. And there's a great compilation on Twitter earlier of how good he is. And it made me go, oh, I miss football, and oh, I'm going to miss David Silva. I retweeted it from someone put a good comment. It's really good. Go and watch that. But that's good news, of course. That's absolutely wonderful news. Elsewhere, Leroy Sane, the saga that no one's really interested in. Well, I guess some people are, but it is very tedious. According to some reports coming out, and this is from Kicker mainly, obviously a bit of a mouthpiece for Bayern admittedly, but it's come via a French website as well, apparently, GGFN, which I think is I don't know what it stands for, Get Football News. Something, I don't know what it means. But either way, apparently, according to these reports, Bayern and Sané have agreed personal terms over a 5-year contract. But we've been hearing that for a very long time now. We've been hearing that since the start of last season, which feels like about 4 years ago. This season even, I guess, which feels really a long time ago, even though the season will only be finishing right about now. And according to this reports, Bayern only want to pay 40 million euros, but haven't yet made a concrete offer. We've heard that apparently they've offered loads of times and City have said no, but then apparently no, they haven't made an offer. And there's been no direct negotiations between the clubs, apparently. City are not demanding 50 million euros, apparently either. I'm not sure if they want more. I presume they do want more. I've got a bad feeling about this. Largely, I've got a feeling it's going to come to a very unfulfilling conclusion for Manchester City fans, sadly. Now, apparently there's 3 reasons why Bayern think they could sign Sané for a lower fee than reported last summer, and they're all pretty logical. There's only 1 year remaining on his Manchester City contract now. There is. It was 2 years previously, now it's 1 year. That will decrease his value. It might not. City might say no, but bargaining until has been lessened there, basically. And also, injury ruled him out for the majority of the 2019-20 season. So, yeah, he didn't play much. There are still question marks about his capabilities and his fitness. Will he be the same player after all these injuries? You don't know. A player based on explosive pace, that agility, that ability to twist and turn. Will he have that same influence on the pitch when football does come back? I mean, you'd hope so, you'd think so, but we don't know. So they'll say that they'd be taking a risk to sign him. And finally, the financial impact of COVID-19. yes, I think we all know that the money in the game is going to take a massive hit. Cry me a river for the big clubs, but for some of the smaller clubs, it definitely will have an impact. But also, even at the high end, even though most clubs will be fine, I guess, it will reduce the money going around the game because clubs are going to take a hit on this. There's ethical issues in terms of how much they're going to spend in the eyes of the public as well, and also the fact that they're going to lose money. They're 100% going to lose money. Everyone's going to lose money from this. I am. You probably are, unless you're Jeff Bezos and you've got, becoming a trillionaire or whatever. But in general, people are going to lose money from this, and I do suspect we'll see a bit of a bubble burst. My honest opinion is that we're going to see Sané leave for a paltry amount. I've got a really bad feeling I'm going to watch him leave for like 40 million and be like, wow, Sané for 40 million. It's going to feel like an absolute kick in the teeth. But I feel like it becomes more and more likely with every passing day. I think City will puff out the chest and act like, there's no problems here. They have apparently said that they'll be less affected by the financial restrictions in the game due to the Silver Lake investment, but that investment was never meant to cover losses for this, so I don't really fully agree with that. While I do agree with it, while I do agree City are more well off than most, that money wouldn't have been put aside or forecasted to cover pandemic losses. No one would have planned that. That money would have been put aside to cover something else. So even if we are rich, we haven't planned for this. No one's planned for this. So it isn't going to be good in my opinion. I don't think Sané will stay. I think he will end up at Bayern. Maybe the worst, to me, 30, 40 million is like, what's the point? I'd rather just keep him for a year, but we'll see on that point. Who knows? Other news about our young Brazilian right-back, Jan Couto. Now, if you don't really know who he is, City signed him. He's a highly, highly, highly rated flamboyant right-back who has been compared to Dani Alves. I did a video, which you can find if you search Jan Couto, Esteemed Kompany. I might remember to put it on the end board. Who knows? I might remember to put it on screen now. But if not, search Jan Couto, Esteemed Kompany on YouTube and it will come up where I talked about the player's ability and all that. Now, City do have plans for this young lad. They do have plans to make him a big part of the team, apparently. But he is only 17, so they do want to see how he gets on elsewhere. It's totally unrealistic to suspect that this guy will go straight into Manchester City's first team. There are some rumours that if the football hadn't been messed up in the way it is, he would have been involved with pre-season ahead of next season's campaign with Guardiola to get a chance to impress. But what we don't know right now is when that's going to be. When is that going to be? Who knows? I guess it's the same for everyone, but he could still get that. What is preseason going to look like for some of these players? Will preseason not really happen? Will he just play through because they've already had a bit of a break right now? I don't really know on that front. It could be that we finish one season and go quickly into another. No one really knows. But anyway, the rumours are that he was going to get that chance, but now it looks like he could, according to The Athletic, he could spend a season on loan at Leeds United if they get promoted to the Premier League. Of course, Leeds are favourites to get promoted for the Premier League. We don't know what's going to happen in the Championship. We don't know if they will get up. But the theory is that a season under Bielsa would be great for his development. And of course it would. I am very sceptical about this, though, because I think the idea that a 17-year-old right-back who hasn't yet really played a senior game in his career, even in Brazil, would suddenly go to a Premier League team and get into that team despite being small, inexperienced, and then get in and break into that team and stay there, it seems very unrealistic. Now, they've currently got a right-back called Luke Ayling. He's 28 years old. He'll be 29 by the time the next season starts. And the Leeds fans like him. He's been a bargain. They signed him from Bristol. And he's been a revelation for them. So they really like him at Leeds. And Bielsa does tend to trust in players that have kind of I guess they've done him good. And Luke Ayling has done that. He's experienced. 4 goals, 4 assists this season in 28 games. He gets forward, he scores goals, he creates goals. And he's their right back. And Leeds fans like him. Would they really just drop him like that? Would they really? Maybe they would rotate, but I'm still sceptical that it'd be a good move for Couto. I could be wrong, of course, but it just seems like a hell of a leap. Unless you'd feel like a guy who's going to go straight to the Premier League would have been playing somewhere else for. Maybe I'm wrong there. Some people will say, well, what about Jack Harrison? They've been good to him. I would argue by saying Jack Harrison spent a lot of time in the MLS, not the best level, but it's still a competitive men's level. He played for New York City, played in a City setup, and also he did have a very brief loan at Middlesbrough before he went to Leeds as well. So he'd shown that he could play in the Championship. He'd shown that he was a promising player. So he was very different circumstances, and he was a bit older as well at this point. So we'll see on that point. I think Couto will go on loan. If it's Leeds, fair be it. Good luck to him, but I don't really see it. And finally, a bit of news about the Champions League. According to some reports today from Marca via Sport Witness, we could be playing Real Madrid like 5 months, the second leg 5 months after the first one. It could be, apparently the date has been scheduled for Friday the 7th of August, when we play against, it's the last 16 in the Champions League. It could be then, August the 7th, that's absolutely crazy. That seems crazy. I think there'll be delays, I think there'll be complications. As I said in yesterday's video, I think things will go wrong with startups. I think there'll be outbreaks. I think things will be paused. Fingers crossed this goes away, but I've got a feeling this is going to be very stuttery. Stop, start until this goes, whenever that's going to be. Football is going to be very checkered and very confusing for some time now. You take that date for what it's worth, August 7th, bear in mind they'll have to quarantine. If they fly to Manchester, according to recent reports, the government apparently in the UK are planning to quarantine people who arrive from other countries. I mean, there are apparently some exceptions from people coming from France, but I don't know if it's going to be other countries, whatever that means. The France, I don't get it. But imagine the quarantine, you have to quarantine for 14 days. That means you have to land in Manchester, according to one person who replied to that tweet, on the 24th of July, and then isolate for 14 days before they can play football without training. Does that really make any sense? It seems farcical, doesn't it? It seems absolutely farcical. But that's where we're at the moment. There's obviously going to be very many obstacles to get ahead of this, but that's where we're at. Anyway, that is today's roundup of news. I hope you enjoyed the video. The editing will get better on these videos for now. I'm just feeling my way back into it. And as I'm recording this at 6 p.m. on a Friday, I want to drink, I want to drink. But I hope you enjoyed it. Also, go check out VGC, the channel where I'm presenting games news on there. Hope you enjoy the videos over there. Go and check out the news about Resident Evil 4 as well. Subscribe, like, comment. And I hope you're all good. Stay safe. In a bit.